all of us being on the internet all of the time forces everyone to be constantly communicating in a way that makes us look good. And you equate that to an endless performance with no backstage, which I love. Can you talk about what you mean by that?
Yeah, so it's this, like Irving Goffman, his sort of sociological framework for the way that performance enters into everyday life. It's just like, when we're paying for something at the store, we are performing nice customer. When we are at work, we're performing this person at work. When we're with our friends, and it's like situation to situation, the audience changes over. And also essential to this performance idea is that at the end of the day, you get to go home and you're backstage, right? The feeling of relief that anyone who's ever been on stage, it's like you get back, you get off stage, you breathe a sigh of relief, and then you're truly, truly yourself, or whatever that is. And the economic incentives of social media are such that there's no context changeover, right? And this has been something that's written about for decades. And that, if you are obeying the incentives of what these platforms hope you do, you are performing an increasingly attractive version of yourself so that more and more people will stream into the auditorium. And eventually that auditorium goes for the, 500 acquaintances that it's normal for people to have in their life, to 1,000, to 2,000, to 3,000, to, if you're incredibly lucky / incredibly unlucky, millions, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like humans, we're not meant to live like this. Sorry, but you can probably hear this ambulance.
That's okay.
I'm in a ground floor apartment right next to a hospital. It's like we're not meant to live like that. We're not meant to live in a realm where, the obviously incredibly unhealthy mechanisms of celebrity, of being visible to people that you don't know personally and that don't know you personally. This is what the internet makes sort of inherently desirable, where existentially I think we're all understanding that it's inherently, really corrosive.
It's also exhausting, right? Because like the more time that we spend on the internet and on these platforms, and like you said at the beginning, it was sort of by choice because it was fun. At this point, it's like a prerequisite to like be a member of society that you're on a lot of these platforms. And if we're on all these platforms all the time and we're performing this identity for the public all the time, what do you think that does to people?
So we've gotten like a sort of unholy extended experiment in this over the last 18 months, right? And it has become quite unequivocally clear that, to me at least, that the things that are truly satisfying are unmediated, right? Like everything that is truly, truly satisfying and pleasurable to me is unmediated. Yeah. A meal at a restaurant, like a conversation face to face, like dancing, a protest, being in the park. I mean, like, not to make a really simplistic analogy, but I have been thinking this whole pandemic about, in the same way that it's like surveillance capitalism does to human desire and to love and to personality and to like impulse, like all it does to that what coal mining does to a mountain. Under the strictures of surveillance capitalism, we are the raw material. And not just that, like our thoughts and our whims and the things we look up late at night and, the things we search for on Google, like these, and again, our desire to be seen and to be loved, like this is the coal that's being mined and we are the mountain and our heads are going to be taken off, Like I think that, and again, I say this as someone that has benefited immensely from the internet and wouldn't have a career without it. Like I've benefited from it, as much as really any person could. And I think that the trap of the internet is that so much of its surface layer is built around sort of like individualizing affirmation. And the shadow layer underneath it, the one that makes money for other people, and sometimes for us, if we're lucky, the shadow layer underneath it is built on deep depersonalization and sort of like existential strip mining. And I think that's the problem, because we feel the one part of the dopamine, the surface level dopamine, but deep down and in the deadness in our eyes, we feel the other part, you know?